So that's how the phone user interface works. And all you need to do is just double tap on an icon, and then it will launch the kind of the software associated with it. So we have several applications built into this. However, what I want to show you is text recognition. So to do this, I'm just going to use my little pass and take a picture of it, and then you'll see it in action. So I double tap on the recognized text
information.
And this,
please point the phone camera towards the object you wish to gather information about.
So I do that, and then I take an image. Okay. And then it will go back to sensors. But for the purposes of the demo, I'm going to skip straight to what happens on the server. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is load the pre-existing image on the server, this lovely one I took earlier. It's then going to talk to Microsoft Office because it uses the optical character recognition built into that. It will then translate it into text. Then it will translate using Microsoft's built-in voice synthesis part of Windows, and then it will go back and you should hear it shortly. Okay? Just give it some time. It's a little slow on the network connections here.
Kevin Pfister Eyesight, the United Kingdom competitor.
Okay, so that's text recognition. So the interesting thing is, what is already out there? Short answer, there is nothing like this on the market today. However, the longer answer is, there's a few things, such as kind of specialized mobile phones, talking watches, and a few other things that are high-cost, single-function devices, and I hope to change this with sensors. How much will it cost? Well, the embedded device, plus the lovely headset, plus a mobile device, will cost you about $650 maximum. However, with kind of economies of scale and shrinking down the hardware, this cost can be slashed to make it more reasonable than what's on the market today. So what is next for sensors? Well, kind of as you saw, I need to work a bit on the network and the data compression, and that's just kind of general coding stuff. Then, in designing the final product, I want to shrink down everything so it's about the size of a mobile phone, make it battery powered, and then kind of have portability and battery life key features, which makes Windows CE and embedded a key role for this device. And then, of course, exploring new functionality. It would be cool if I could use the webcam to do object recognition or control everything through speech. So there's the hardware. Now, kind of going into business, I'm already trying to establish myself with pre-existing charities. So all my contacts so far with the RNIB has been positive, and I hope to start field trials of sensors in the coming months. So I just want to leave you with a key fact. Every 8 seconds around the world, someone loses their sight. Therefore, every 8 seconds, I hope that sensors can help someone. Thank you.
I've got a quick question. You've demonstrated a lot of impressive technologies here, running on the network, some running locally. What do you see as your main innovation in your project?
I'll say the main innovation is to bring together pre-existing technologies that are just starting to merge. So facial recognition is a new kind of technology, and then we've got text-to-speech and text recognition, but it's the idea of bringing it all together and then linking in with online services such as Facebook to capture the images for facial recognition. And I think that's what hasn't been done before on the market.
It seems like as part of your project, Facebook played a very key role in that. I'm curious, how's your view with regard to a blind person using Facebook?
Facebook I just use as an obvious example for most people. However, due to the modular kind of design that I've made, you can easily implement other kind of online photo kind of storage methods such as Flickr, or you can just upload your data and have it locally stored on the server, and then it will process kind of images you give it.
Let me clarify my point here. Facebook is a very visual interface, and we're talking about the blind that don't have that visual capability.
Well, as I said, kind of, it doesn't have to be Facebook that's going to be capturing the images to see the facial recognition. It can be other services. It was just kind of for this, demonstrating, as most people out there already know. But it also you can also upload images and use ones that you already have, or it can just say, you can just configure it so when it recognizes somebody, it can say there is just someone there. So it doesn't say who it is, because it might not know. It can just say there is someone there. As you saw with the facial matching, it can know that there are people around you.
As far as you demonstrate, the functions are played on a server, so you rely on communication for these functions. So aside that the fee for these communications should be added to the price, I would like to know what prevented you from integrating these functions to the embedded system.
Okay, so there are several features that limited me. So firstly, it was the API sets that I was using. So for the text recognition, I was using those out of Microsoft Office. So that's kind of a Windows-based application. So it was hard to try and extract the APIs from there. Secondly, if I kind of integrate more of the processing into the e-box, that when it is in the final design, it will be a portable solution. Processing power means kind of a shorter battery life. And so what I wanted to do is just kind of push as much of the processing off into the cloud. However, there are some things that can be done locally. So text-to-speech and speech recognition. Windows CE has those APIs built in. They just don't have the synthesis engine and the voice recognition engines. You have to kind of purchase those separately. So that was kind of holding me back on there. But in a bespoke kind of final implementation, you could just write your own APIs and put them on the embedded device.
Does this need to be a connected device? In your opinion, is it possible to implement it completely offline without?
So just have everything on the embedded device.
And without a phone?
In the future, as I said, one of the kind of future things I'm looking into is speech recognition. So you could effectively control the whole thing via speech, and then it could effectively be controlled all by the embedded solution. But again,
do you think your embedded solution has enough processing power to handle?
Well, that's why I kind of offloaded everything, because an embedded solution I want to be as portable as possible, because if they're going to be using this, they're going to be carrying around all day with them, and thus kind of it needs to be kind of portable enough and kind of not use too much battery, because the worst thing that could happen is they're walking around using it, depending on it, and then the battery dies because it's using so much processing power.
Okay, Kelly, I want to know, the face recognition is a tough problem in the academic area.
Yes.
Not all is right.
Yeah.
But for the product, if the blind man take this embedded system, if the face detection, face recognition is wrong, what the embedded system should do?
So there's two ways to kind of solve this. Is facial recognition works by getting pre-existing images of the person it's trying to recognize. So